What's up, guys? It's Jay Pounds, and we got another weekly free agent auction video for you guys. Before we get into this week's video, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. That'll help you guys these are like time-sensitive videos we put out here. Obviously we got a deadline for the free agents. We put out articles for the Monday night and Thursday night games. Those are time sensitive. So the notification bell can really help you guys out and kind of help you stay on top of things a little bit. Before we get into the free agents, as always, we are going to hit Jay's weekly takeaways. This week, it was a wild week, man. We had a lot of injuries. Just It seems like injuries have been bad all year. All year injuries have been rough. Every single one of my teams, except for like two, are just completely annihilated, and it sucks. But it's the NFL, and hopefully these guys can get back healthy, and we can see some more good football. We had the Packers and the Cardinals. That was a good game. The Packers kind of seem to have turned a corner here, especially on defense. Their defense is kind of leading the way. I'm not saying their offense is bad. Their offense has been decent, but the defense, man, if they can continue playing the way they have been, it's going to be very, very hard to beat them when the weather starts to get cold. And if they somehow get home field advantage here, oh man, they'll be tough to beat. The Panthers kind of righted their wrongs this week. Sam Darnold had a decent game. I think it's enough to keep the Watson conversation away through today's trade deadline. So we'll see with that. But it was against the bad Falcons team, so who knows? The Bills played a solid game against the Dolphins. They continued their winning ways. Cole Beasley starred with 10 catches, 110 yards. Justin Fields seemed like he turned a corner this week. They didn't win, the Bears. They played the 49ers, which is a very tough defense, but Justin Fields was making some positive plays. He actually looked competent this week, and I think it's a sign of good things to come. My Steelers beat the Brownies. That's something I've been saying for a long time, man. I thought the tide was going to change this year, but apparently not. No, that's a game Baker Mayfield needs to win, especially if he's going to get paid this big money. He has to win these types of games. I get the receivers had some key drops, especially late in the game. But, man, 10 points against the Steelers defense, that's just not going to work out for you. If you score 10 points, that's all you could muster up all game long. That's it. You scored a field goal in the first half. That's just not enough from a star quarterback. I get it. His shoulders a little banged up and all that, but you got such a good run game, such a good offensive line. You got to find a way to get points on the board. The Lions finally put up a stinker this week. We all knew it was coming. I still believe in Dan Campbell, and we'll see how things play out there. The Titans took a commanding lead in the AFC South, but it came at a huge price tag of losing Derrick Henry, and that's never good. Oh, that's got to suck as a Titans fan. That sucks for Derrick Henry. Sucks for the NFL fan as a whole because he is so much fun to watch. My biggest takeaway from this week, guys, is I just don't think the Bengals are ready to win yet. Yeah, they're going to be a playoff team. But I don't think they have what it takes just yet. They got to learn how to win still. And I think that was proven after a huge win against the Ravens, and they come out and lay an egg against the Jets. It was weird. It was a weird game, but nonetheless, they lost, and you can't lose games like that coming off a huge win against the Ravens, and you could stay in first place, and the Ravens were on a bye and overtook first place. Just something you can't have if you want to be a Super Bowl contending team. And the Bengals are heading in the right direction, but they're not there yet. The Rams, I ain't even going to talk about their game, but they got Von Miller. Traded for Von Miller. You now have Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald, and Von Miller. Good luck trying to block those guys. Just when we thought we had the Chargers figured out, the Patriots come out and beat them. The Patriots were not a 500 team going into this game. They are now. But we'll see. Maybe it was just a weird game for the Chargers. I don't know. Mike Williams didn't do a thing, and that hurt me in a couple spots. Excuse me. The Jaguars are still the Jaguars. They got blown out by Geno Smith and the Seahawks. It's ugly. Urban Meyer won't make it past this year. There's no way Urban Meyer makes it past this year. The Broncos, they got a nice needed win against the Washington. I almost called them the Redskins. The Washington football team. It was an ugly game all around, 17-10, kind of like the Pittsburgh Browns game. But needless to say, it is an NFL game, so we're going to talk about it a little bit. Tom Brady has two glaring weaknesses, and if everybody could just figure out how to be these two things, you would beat Tom Brady week in and week out. The first thing you need to be is Eli Manning, and the second thing you need to be is the New Orleans Saints. If you can figure out how to be one of those two things, Tom Brady will never win. That's all. We just gotta. We could have stopped that whole dynasty if we had just figured out how to be those two things. The Cowboys defense. I'm done. Jury's gone. They're for real. They just beat the Minnesota Vikings without Dak Prescott. Yeah, Cooper Rush had a solid game, 325 yards and 2 touchdowns. But this defense, without it, I don't have words for it. I can't believe it happened. I thought they were about to get smoked without Dak Prescott. I figured they'd be somewhat in the game, but I did not see them pulling this one out, especially the way it happened. Amari Cooper's something else right now. Him and CeeDee Lamb, man, that's a crazy combo. And last but not least, we have the Giants and the Chiefs. I don't know what to make out of the Chiefs. The Super Bowl hangover is real. That's about all I can say. I don't see them righting their wrongs this year. I think it would have happened last night against the Giants, and it just didn't. That's all I got for Jay's Week 8 takeaways, guys. That's all we got. It was a good week, fun week, a lot of injuries. Now let's get on to the free agents. At number 1, let me find them real quick. Holy smokes, I got a lot on there. All right, at number 1, we got Mike White, quarterback, New York Jets. 1 year, $850,000. He is only 47.34% rostered. I was kind of a little surprised by that. I figured being, a guaranteed starter for 2 weeks, that more people would have picked him up just as a plug and play option with all these injuries. But I guess nobody believed in Mike White. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I did not believe in Mike White either. I honestly didn't even know who in the heck he was before he got put into that game. 2 weeks ago, not against the Bengals, obviously. But he came out, he threw for, I believe it was over 400 yards. He ended up beating the Bengals. I've seen things on Twitter like, what happens if, and I even put it in my article, what happens if Mike White plays well enough to win the next 2 games? Are they going to bench Zach White? Obviously, they're not going to bench Zach Wilson. Obviously, he's their number 2 overall pick. They're going to let him ride this year out. Mike White would have to come out and have 2 back-to-back or 3 back-to-back 400-yard wins for them to even consider it. And still, I don't think it would happen. They got too much invested in Zach Wilson. Mike White's been around a while. It hasn't happened yet for him. I just kind of think it was one of those crazy backup games that we're used to seeing. You guys remember Matt Flynn? I have Seattle fans about Matt Flynn. At number 2, we got Adrian Peterson, running back, Tennessee Titans. I am not sure if this is his contract here. It may be. I couldn't find it on Spot Track, so I just went with what he was paid last year. I'm assuming that's his veterans minimum. He's 6.51% rostered. I was a little surprised by that. I didn't think he'd be rostered anywhere with him not signing anywhere, but some people held on to him, and it may pay off for holding on to him. But nonetheless, it's Adrian Peterson. We've seen what he could do with the Lions last year. He had a few decent games. He's not the Adrian Peterson of old, obviously. He's not going to come out and get you 100-yard games week in and week out. But he is going to get the ball around the goal line. The Titans have nobody as far as goal line running backs on the roster. They got Jeremy McNichols, and I cannot remember the other one's name off the top of my head. But neither one of them are goal line backs. That's all going to go to Adrian Peterson. I expect him to play as soon as this week. At number 3, we have Jamal Agnew, wide receiver, Jacksonville Jaguars. 3 years, $4.7 million. He is 10.65% rostered, and he just feels like Khalif Raymond of last week. I don't like it. I don't like saying it, but the dude's had 13 or more points in each of the last 3 weeks, and he was cold before that. I don't even think he played week 1. But needless to say, they signed him to a 3-year, almost $5 million a year contract. They're going to use the kid. And they're showing you that. And it seems like Trevor Lawrence really trusts him. It seems like he's going to him somewhat as a safety blanket, and it's leading to cheap, easy points. You know, 5 catches at 4 yards apiece is still almost 10 points, guy. You know, it's just unbelievable what this guy, how quick that stuff adds up. I definitely added that wrong in my head now that I'm doing it, but still, you know what I mean. These cheap little easy points add up so fast, so fast. You know, if he gets 5 catches at for 5 yards apiece, that is 7.5 points. Just stupid little cheap points, and you'll see it with the next guy here. But you know, if you need somebody to put on your bench, I know wide receiver is somewhat of a deep position, but bye weeks are still here and things like that. Jamal Agnew, he should be playing in somebody's lineup in your league, except for rebuilding teams. I don't think he's young. He's only 26, but I don't think I'm putting him on a rebuilding team at this point. I got to see a little bit more for him before I'm spending $5 million on Jamal Agnew. But for contenders, you know, if he can come out and if he turns in a touchdown last week, it's a 20-point performance. So he's gonna find the end zone at some point if he's getting this kind of usage. And I don't know. I think you guys should kind of give him a look. We'll see. You know, trust me, my jury's still out on him as well. At number 4, we got Cole Beasley, wide receiver, Buffalo Bills, 2 years, $7.25 million. He is 73.37% rostered. I broke all the rules on this one. I usually don't go over like 6.5 million. I never go over 65% rostered, but I am, because I'm tired of the Cole Beasley disrespect. The dude puts up monster weeks for not scoring a touchdown. 10 catches, 110 yards, 21 points. I'll take that every stinking week. I don't know about you guys, but it honestly blows my mind that he's not rostered in at least 80% of leagues. I get he's somewhat inconsistent. I get it, but when he hits, he hits. I got him in. I have a very questionable team. I was kind of drinking during the draft, and I took some questionable players, and I'm in second place in the league, and I still don't understand how, but Cole Beasley is a big part of it. He's been keeping me in. You know, every week he goes off, it seems like Aaron Jones or somebody's doing bad, and Cole Beasley is single-handedly winning me weeks in that league, and it's crazy. And here he's just 73.37% rostered, and I just couldn't let the madness go on any longer. So pick up Cole Beasley, guys, so I can please stop talking about it. Last but not least, we have John Ross, 1 year, two and a quarter, call it $2.25 million. He is 10.65% rostered, just like Jamal Agnew. And I don't know if you guys watched last night's game with the Chiefs and the Giants, but that Sterling Shepard injury looked rough. It was a non-contact injury. He looked like he was in some serious pain on the ground, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was out for quite a while. But when I did my Monday, I don't know if you guys read both of these articles, but when I did my Monday night article, I was under the impression that both Shepard and Tony did not make the trip to Kansas City, and apparently, obviously, they did. They both played in the game. But I thought it was going to be Darius Slayton stepping up in their absence, and it wasn't. It was John Ross. Dante Pettis didn't get much work at all. It was John Ross stepping up there. And if Sterling Shepard is going to miss time, look for John Ross to step in. He's a former first round pick. He's got a ton of talent. And if he hits, he could be a very, very nice free agent pickup. And I'm not very excited about the Giants offense, but somebody's got to do something there, right, guys? I mean, we've seen Dante Pettis put up respectable numbers over the last 2 weeks, so why not John Ross? He's definitely way more talented than Dante Pettis is. But that is all I got for you this week, guys. Like I said earlier in the video, please, if you can, like, subscribe, notification bell, and also comment. I truly feel commenting on the video will get this out way more than liking will, way more than any of that other stuff. Obviously, views matter a lot, but commenting will help, even if it's just something stupid like saying hi. You know, I'll gladly say hi back. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you all next week.